and welcome to Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Let's get you the headlines this morning. High voter turnout registered as voting concludes for final phase in Assam and second part of the first phase in West Bengal. Assam registers nearly 85%, Bengal 80% voter turnout. Heat wave continues unabated across the country. 9 states reel under severe drought. Special trains carrying water reached Port Latur in Marathwada this morning. Kerala High Court to take up issue of ban on firecrackers during temple festivals. NHRC notice to Kerala government seeking report over temple tragedy within 4 weeks. Brazil's President Dilma Rousseff faces prospect of impeachment charges, allegations that she manipulated government accounts to hide growing deficit. And India take on Pakistan in crucial match at Sultan Azlan Shah Hockey Tournament. India have 6 points while Pakistan 3 so far. And our top focus, Kerala's top temple board has ruled out a ban on fireworks display during festivals despite the tragedy at the Kollam temple on Sunday. Now the High Court will take up the issue today. At least 110 people were killed in the devastating fire tragedy at Puthingal temple. A case of attempt to murder has also been filed against 6 people, including temple officials. The NHRC has taken suo motu note of the incident and sought a report within 4 weeks from the state government. The 5 absconding members of the managing committee of the Puthingal Devi temple surrendered early today morning.
Clamour for a ban on fireworks in temples is growing louder. On Sunday, a massive fireworks display took a tragic turn at the Puthingal temple in Kerala's Kollam district, claiming over 100 lives and injuring scores. But despite the heart-wrenching incident, the Travancore Devaswam Board is still not in favour of a complete ban on fireworks display during festivals. A Kerala High Court judge has sought a judicial intervention on banning firecrackers during temple festivals. The court will hear the matter today.
The authority denies permission, the other authority allows it to go ahead. Why this contradiction? The state government has a lot to answer.
The Kerala police blames Puthingal Devi temple's management for the massive fire. 6 people, including temple officials, have been booked for attempt to murder. A case of illegal possession of explosives has also been registered against the temple. Police forces have also found 3 abandoned cars packed with sacks full of explosives near the temple. Bomb disposal squads are being brought for precaution to defuse them. A judicial probe is on.
We have denied the permission for this fire display, open display this time. That is fact.
Not taken any license for display of the fireworks, which is mandatory under the Explosive Rules 2008. They have flouted other rules also.
On Sunday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi took stock of the situation, visiting the spot and the injured. Health Minister JP Nadda is in Kollam with a special 25-member team of doctors from premier medical institutions in Delhi. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi also visited the spot. Kerala Chief Minister Oman Chandi has assured all assistance to the families of the victims. He has announced an ex gratia relief of rupees 10 lakh to the killed in the fire tragedy and rupees 2 lakh for those seriously injured.
Allotted 10 lakhs rupees for the dead person and 2 lakhs rupees for the seriously injured person and 1 lakh for the injured persons.
The best has been put by the state medical department, and we are there to support it. We are in constant coordination with the state government.
At hospitals, morgues and police stations, grieving families are still searching for their loved ones. The armed forces also pitched in with helicopters, aircraft and medical teams to ensure quick treatment of the injured. The Puthingal temple is one of the oldest in the state. The mishap took place on Sunday when thousands of people had gathered at the temple for festivities. The blaze started when a cracker fell onto a shed where more firecrackers were stored, sparking a string of powerful explosions that blew the roof of the administrative block of the temple and caused a nearby building to collapse. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Moving on to the northeast, indefinite curfew has been imposed in Upper Assam's Tinsukia district. after the death of 11 people when a high-voltage electric wire fell on them during police firing. Among those dead are 5 women as well. 20 others are seriously wounded. Now, the police opened fire when protesters pelted stones and tried to storm the Pangri police station. The armed protesters wanted 3 men accused of killing 2 area residents handed over to them. The mob pelted stones at the police station when the police fired in the air to disperse the crowd. The bullets hit an overhead high-power electric wire that snapped and fell on the protesters. 10 people were killed on the spot while others were electrocuted. Another person died on way to the Assam Medical College Hospital in neighbouring Dibrugarh district. Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi has ordered a judicial inquiry into the incident and appealed for calm. Senior district civil and police officials along with central paramilitary forces and police reinforcements are camping at the spot. And time now for all the election-related news in our special segment, Verdict 2016. Well, there has been a high voter turnout in Assam that went to polls yesterday. The second and final phase in which voters in 61 constituencies exercised their franchise saw a turnout of as high as 85%.
A high voter turnout in Assam as the last votes were cast for the second and final phase of elections. Voting concluded for assembly seats spread across lower and central Assam for an assembly with a strength of 126.
By and large, the poll was peaceful. There was one incident which has been reported in Barpeta. Overall, I am saying in the second, in the 1B phase, it was very peaceful, free from violence, free from injury, and very swift action everywhere so that any clash, any major clash could be averted.
In 2011 assembly polls in Assam, the voter turnout in the 61 assembly seats which went to polls in the final phase was 76.05%, while it was 80.21% in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections in the same constituencies.
Seem to be casting your vote for the first time, is that what it is?
Yes, this is my first time.
Oh, that's wonderful. How's the feeling?
And I'm feeling good.
What seems to be most important for you as far as, in terms of issues for casting your vote?
For me, changes regarding health and education is more important. And yes.
Also job facility. For a student, it is main thing is job facility. They're going to there after that finishing their education. Main thing is that. So because of this, the development of all sides are required.
So that's clear out here. It seems the basic.
While massive security was in place in Barpeta, there was a clash between CRPF jawans and locals who pelted stones. The CRPF personnel resorted to lathi charge to disperse the crowd. A 19-year-old boy died of injuries. The EC is verifying whether he received injuries during the melee or in the action by security men. A magisterial probe has been ordered by the EC into the circumstances leading to the teenager's death. Among the prominent candidates who were fighting in the final phase were Cabinet Ministers Rakibul Hussain, Chandan Sarkar and Nazrul Islam from the Congress, former two-time Chief Minister and veteran AGP leader Prafulla Kumar Mohanta, AIUDF Chief and Dhubri MP Badruddin Ajmal, and former Congress Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, who is now in the BJP.
Would reward the Congress party for the good work it has done for the people of Assam in the last 15 years.
कि ये फेस्टिवल ऐसा है सारे जाति धर्म से सबसे ऊपर अपने मुल्क का मैं समझता हूँ एक गणतांत्रिक जो सिस्टम है उसका सबसे बड़ा ईद का दिन है.
While the Congress looks forward to retaining power for the 4th successive term, the BJP has called for a parivartan to usher in development. With Vishal Dahiya, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the voter turnout in West Bengal was equally impressive. 80% turnout recorded in 31 seats that went to polls in the second part of the first phase of polling yesterday.
The second part of the first phase of elections in West Bengal concluded with sporadic incidents of violence.
Within the premise or within the polling station, in any of the polling station of the West Bengal in 31 assembly constituency, no violence, injury or any type of death has taken place, clash has taken place. That is inside the premise. However, during the polling hours, we got some information, some sporadic information that some type of political clash between the workers of different political parties had taken place.
For the 2011 assembly polls in West Bengal, the turnout in 31 of the 294 seats which went to elections on Monday was 83.72%, while in 2014 general elections it was 83.39%.
सिक्योरिटी तो अच्छा है, ठीक है, वोट भी ठीक चल रहा है, सब लाइन से है, सब सिक्योरिटी पहले से खड़ा है, हम लोग का ठीक टाइमली एंट्री करने दिया.
There was information of sporadic clashes between workers of different political parties. In Jammuria, 2 sacks containing crude bombs were found 2 kilometers away from a polling station, but no untoward incident was reported. In Raniganj, a candidate and her husband entered a polling station, leading to disciplinary action against the presiding officer and an FIR against those who violated the rules.
I personally understand that the entire election commission is sleeping like a small baby at the lap of Mamata Banerjee's government.
हमारा अधिकार वोट देना ताई जन वोट देते हैं.
अच्छा है वोट देना, ऐसे अपना अधिकार है वोट देना और जिसको चुनना है अपना अपना चुनेगा, इसीलिए वोट दिए हैं.
Voting for the remaining phases in the state will take place on April 17, 21, 25, 30 and May 5th. Counting will take place on May 19 for the 294-member assembly. With Pranav Goswami, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And just as the polling process got over in Assam, an FIR was lodged against State Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi under electoral laws on the instructions of the Election Commission. The FIR was lodged for holding a press conference when the second and final phase of assembly polls in the state were on, as it could have influenced voters. That's what the Election Commission says. The Commission has now said that Gogoi holding a press conference within 48 hours before the end of the poll was not advisable. But Gogoi went ahead with the event, where he reportedly alleged that a candidate and a former minister were detained in his house. The Deputy EC said when the Commission checked the facts, it was found that poll officials had gone to check whether there was a congregation at the candidate's residence and he was not detained. The Assam Chief Minister now alleged that the Election Commission is biased.
Why Election Commission yesterday allowed Hemanta Biswa to take out a rally, and today, and not only there, before that, Roki got check Kali senior minister, ex-minister, Amar Patte Manovar, that is check Koris, they all got free hand. So what does it mean? More clarification people don't need. As much as violate course, all right, you can take law. I am law-abiding citizen. When Chief Minister who my law violate course. If violate course, definitely I am liable. Election Commission has all the authority.
And from elections, it's over to diplomacy. Maldivian President Abdullah Yameen Abdul Gayoom held talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday to further strengthen bilateral cooperation between both countries. 6 agreements were also signed, including in the areas of trade and maritime security.
Maldivian President Abdullah Yameen Abdul Gayoom on Monday held talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi. Both leaders discussed ways to improve bilateral relations. Referring to India's neighborhood first policy, Modi said the security and stability of Maldives are in India's interest.
मालदीव की प्रगति, सुरक्षा और आर्थिक विकास जितना आपका मकसद है, उतना ही भारत का भी लक्ष्य है. मालदीव की स्थिरता और सुरक्षा भारत के सामरिक हितों से सीधे-सीधे जुड़ी हुई है.
Yameen called India the most important friend for Maldives. He also pointed out that relations between the two nations are based on civilizational roots.
The security of the Maldives is intimately linked with the security of India. During my visit, Prime Minister and I exchanged views on further expanding our ongoing partnership to counter militant radicalism, cross-border terrorism, organized crimes, and other forms of security threats facing our two countries.
Both nations also signed 6 agreements in the fields of taxation, tourism, space research, defense, and conservation of mosques.
हम मालदीव की सुरक्षा जरूरतों के प्रति जागरूक हैं. राष्ट्रपति यामीन भी इस बात से सहमत है कि मालदीव भारत के सामरिक और सुरक्षा हितों के प्रति पूरी तरह संवेदनशील रहेगा.
India and Maldives share 50 years of diplomatic ties and enjoy a historically close relationship. But China's presence in the Indian Ocean archipelago has increased tensions and concerns for New Delhi. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will leave for a 10-day visit to the United States today to attend the spring meetings of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. Now, spring meetings will also be attended by Reserve Bank of India Governor Raghuram Rajan and Chief Economic Advisor Arvind Subramanian. In the first leg of his visit, Jaitley will meet National Development Bank's Board of Governors and BRICS finance ministers. He will also participate in the G20 session for finance ministers and central bank governors. In his second leg of the tour, Jaitley will address a special session of the United Nations on the world drug problem on the 19th of April in New York. Finance Minister has also proposed to participate in the Institutional Investors Meet in New York before leaving for India on the 20th of April. With that, time for a very short break here. More news and updates when we return.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries on Rajya Sabha television.
Thanks for staying with us. News just coming in. A massive fire has broken out in a residential complex in Bhiwandi area of Mumbai. More than 80 people are feared to be trapped inside the 4-storied building. At least 12 fire engines have reached the spot. More details on that story are awaited. This, of course, is a developing story, and we will be getting you details on the channel in our subsequent bulletins. Moving on now at a time when at least 9 states are drought affected, there's some good news on that front. India's only private weather forecaster has said that the country's monsoon rains are likely to be above average this year. The private forecaster has said that monsoon is expected to arrive on time in June, which would result in good rainfall over the peninsular India. SkyMet said that there is 85% probability of normal to excess rainfall in the June to September monsoon season this year, with only 5% probability of a drought. The error margin for the forecast is only 4%. After back-to-back monsoon failures, farmer distress is at its peak in India, where the majority of fields lack irrigation facilities, and a good monsoon is critical to boost agricultural productivity as well as farm incomes. Several agencies from around the world, including the IMD, have hinted that the monsoon could be better than previous years this time. The key reason being a disappearing El Niño, which is a meteorological phenomenon frequently responsible for drying up monsoon rains in India. Our government forecaster, the Indian Meteorological Department, is expected to issue its forecast later today. And the first train carrying about 5 lakh litres of drinking water has finally reached drought-hit Latur. Hundreds of trucks were already ferrying water to quench the thirst of the city's residents, but the demand far exceeded the supply.
A special train carrying water from Miraj city in Maharashtra has reached the drought-hit district of Latur, bringing temporary relief to people who have to walk miles to fetch water for their daily use. The train with 10 wagons has been brought into service following a request from the Maharashtra state government. Each wagon has a capacity of carrying 55,000 litres of water. Another 50-wagon goods train is expected to be ready to carry water to Latur around 15th April.
We have formed a small goods train of say 10 wagons, filled it up with our own water, and we have we have started one goods train this morning. It will reach Latur as per the convenience of the local administration, who will make arrangements for its unloading and distribution.
The water crisis has triggered large-scale migration from the entire region, with people moving out to other cities like Mumbai, Pune and Aurangabad. Maharashtra PWD Minister Eknath Shinde met with farmers and assured them of full help from the state.
उनका कहना है कि जैसे बारिश शुरू होती है तो हम लोग चले जाएंगे, 2 महीने की बात है, तो कैसे उनको मदद करनी है ये सब लोग मिलके हम लोग देखते हैं और वो कोशिश करते हैं कि उनको 2 महीने तक यहाँ पर कोई दिक्कत नहीं हो.
काम के लिए आए हैं वहाँ से,
गांव में पानी नहीं है, दुष्काल है, सब ओसाड़ जगह है, इसलिए काम के लिए आया मुंबई।
कब से आ रहे हो?
2 महीने हुए सर काम करने।
Meanwhile, the Uttar Pradesh government has said it will take all possible steps to ensure there are no deaths by starvation in the state. This, a day after the centre announced a relief of rupees 1,304 crores for the region. Review of the ongoing work to deal with drought conditions and relief measures in the district would also be undertaken every 15 days through video conferencing.
देखिए, पिछले 2 वर्ष से लगातार सूखा है। इस बार का बजट आप कह सकते हैं देश में कभी किसान के लिए ऐसा बजट नहीं आया। कुछ नई योजनाएं हैं। 14 तारीख को प्रधानमंत्री नेशनल एग्रीकल्चर मार्केट की शुरुआत कर रहे हैं। फसल बीमा की शुरुआत इस वर्ष हुई है। सिंचाई योजना एक तरह से इस वर्ष आप कह सकते हैं कि जमीन तक पहुंचेगी। तो 2 साल के सूखे से समस्याएं तो किसानों को है, लेकिन सरकार जितना कर सकती है उतना कर रही है।
Several states in India are reeling under severe water shortage this summer owing to deficient monsoon last year. 21 districts in Maharashtra are drought affected. The state government recently declared 11,962 villages in Vidarbha as drought affected, meaning that more than half of the villages in the state are drought hit. Last year, more than 3,000 farmers in Maharashtra took their lives, the highest in the last 14 years. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has also written a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi offering water support for parched Latur. Moving on to the big international story, Brazil's President Dilma Rousseff, the first woman president of that country, is facing impeachment charges. Members of a congressional committee voted on Monday to proceed with a motion to remove the Workers' Party leader from office for puffing up government accounts before the 2014 election. Rousseff, of course, has denied any wrongdoing and called the proceedings against her tantamount to a coup. Huge setback to Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff. A committee in Brazil's lower house of Congress voted on Monday in favor of impeaching Rousseff for allegedly manipulating public finances. The 65-member congressional committee voted 38 to 27 to recommend impeachment following reports that the president manipulated government accounts to hide a growing deficit and boost her re-election prospects in 2014. Opposition lawmakers say Rousseff's impeachment will set an example in the country's history of having acted against one of the biggest corruption scandals centered on state-run oil company, the Petrobras.
Nós esperamos que o impeachment seja uma presença importante na vida da sociedade brasileira e a gente possa ter mudanças. E essa mudança a gente realmente olha para o futuro com uma luz no fim do túnel, porque essa presidência, se ela se mantiver no poder, não terá condições de governar. A tragédia da má gestão que nós estamos vivendo no país hoje.
The government, on the other hand, is focused on convincing lawmakers to vote against impeachment or abstain in the full House vote. The ruling party called it a coup against their democratically elected president.
Não há crime de responsabilidade, mas tenta dar uma aura jurídica ao golpe constitucional que tentam praticar.
The issue has deeply divided Brazil. Supporters as well as opponents of the embattled left-leaning president gathered in the Brazilian capital on Monday. Bracing for clashes, the police tightened security. All eyes will now be on a full vote in the lower house on Sunday. Rousseff's opponents need 342 votes or 2/3 of the House to approve impeachment and send the process to the next stage in the upper chamber. If a simple majority of senators then votes in favor of impeachment, Rousseff would be suspended from office. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And for all the other important international updates, here's a quick world wrap. The terror cell that carried out the recent attacks in Paris and Brussels was reportedly also planning to target the Euro 2016 soccer tournament in France this summer. According to a French newspaper, Mohamed Abrini, the Belgian national who was arrested last Friday in connection with both the Paris as well as Brussels attacks, told Belgian investigators that the jihadi cell had never intended to target Brussels. Instead, the group intended to launch another attack in France. Euro 2016 will take place in 10 host cities across France between the 10th of June and 10th July, with both the opening match as well as the finals to be held at the Stade de France in Paris, which was also a target of the Paris attacks last November that killed 190 people. Preparations are underway for Syria's parliamentary elections in state-held parts of the country. Residents of the war-torn country's capital are hopeful the vote will benefit the country's future. Displaced residents of Idlib, Raqqa, Aleppo and Deir al-Zawr would be allowed to cast their votes. Thousands of candidates are competing in the parliamentary elections, which is the second one during the Syrian crisis since 2011. Syria is due to hold parliamentary elections in state-held parts of the country on Wednesday. The opposition, however, has called it a sham. Thousands of German steel workers took to the streets on Monday demanding more action against the dumping of cheap Chinese imports and greater job protection amid uncertainty over the future of ThyssenKrupp steel business. The powerful German IG Metall Union is demanding job guarantees if ThyssenKrupp merges its steel business with India's Tata Steel or another player, a prospect that has become more likely in the past few weeks. Workers fear they could face a similar fate to their peers in Britain, where Tata has put its entire steel business up for sale, endangering thousands of jobs. The US health officials have found the Zika virus to be scarier than first thought, saying its impact could be greater than predicted. Doctors at the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say a wider range of bird defects have been linked to the Zika virus, and the mosquitoes that carry the virus could travel to more US states than previously thought. The current Zika outbreak began almost a year ago in Brazil. It has been linked to thousands of bird defects in the Americas. And over to all the sports news now. India will take on arch rivals Pakistan in a crucial match at the Sultan Azlan Shah Hockey Tournament with a potential bronze medal at stake. Five-time winner India were bronze medalists last year and will be eager to stay in medal contention. The men in blue were scrappy in their 3-1 win over Canada on Sunday and will look to raise their game against their arch rivals. Sardar Singh-led side is third in the round-robin league standings with 6 points from 3 outings, while Pakistan have 3 points from as many matches. And British royals Prince William and Kate Middleton celebrated the 90th birthday of Queen Elizabeth II at a reception hosted by the British High Commission in New Delhi. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge interacted with the guests at the garden party, which was attended by distinguished Indian personalities from politics and other fields. On Sunday, the UK royals visited Gandhi Smriti and spent, on Monday, they visited the Gandhi Smriti and spent time at the India Gate Memorial. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to host a lunch for them later today. The royal couple will then leave for Kaziranga National Park in Assam, and from there they will travel to Bhutan for 2 days beginning the 14th of April. On the 16th, they will visit the Taj Mahal before flying back to Britain.
This is the first time Catherine and I have been to India, and we've been incredibly impressed to see just how much this great country is on the move, and how India's dynamism is matched by the warmth and welcome of its diverse people. Today is a wonderful opportunity to celebrate the enduring friendship between our two countries, our shared culture, and the business opportunities we can create together.
And that's it from us in this bulletin. Thanks for your time.